So, Prince Andrew has been reported to the police after Epstein court documents were released earlier this week. As it turns out, the recently released court documents reveals that Prince Andrew was referenced 67 times in a testimony by a witness who alleged during the testimony that the British prince put his hands on her boobs during a house visit while she was underage. I mean, it's shocking, right? But why are people now looking at the royal family with a side eye? This is not new. But wait a minute. Do you guys think that they had continued to protect Prince Andrew despite these allegations because they had not believed the allegations and the released documents have now revealed more information which completely obliterates Prince Andrew's protestations of innocence? Or is it that people can't understand how the royal family continues to fund Prince Andrew using the taxpayers' money, considering that he's no longer a working member of the royal family and yet he has these embarrassing allegations hanging over his head? So, what has the royal family said since the news of the released documents hit the air? So far, it appears they have chosen to take their path of selective reaction to potentially damaging scandals. That means it's been crickets from their end. Crick, crick. What about the media? What have they had to say about all of this? For once, I guess because it does not disturb their agenda. Most of the mainstream media, like the Evening Standard, Reuters, and Forbes, have loudly broadcast the news of the release of the court documents and Prince Andrew's involvement. They have also widely reported that as a result of the multiple references to Prince Andrew in the documents, Prince Andrew has been reported to the police. The section of the media which represents the PR arm of the royal family, though, are busy trying to muddy the waters. Over at GB News, they are busy reporting on rubbish stories like Prince Andrew and Sarah Ferguson tipped to remarry as big change paves the way. Of course, this news is being pushed by none other than our resident Chucky, Angela Levin. Prince Andrew has previously denied all allegations arising from his relationship with Epstein, a billionaire who took his own life in prison in 2019 while awaiting trial for sex trafficking. More documents in the case are expected to be released in the coming days. Now, for a bit of background on the relationship between Epstein and Andrew for those who have not been following the case. Prince Andrew told us in his disastrous 2019 interview that he met Epstein through Epstein's former girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell. Ghislaine Maxwell is the socialite daughter of disgraced press baron Robert Maxwell, who has been accused of being complicit with Epstein in sex trafficking and abuse, and in some cases, partaking in it. Ghislaine Maxwell has denied all allegations, although in 2021 she was found guilty of child sex trafficking and other offenses in connection with the deceased Jeffrey Epstein. Although Prince Andrew claimed that himself and Epstein were not that close in the interview, a Channel 4 dispatches program discovered that over a 12-year period from at least 1999, Epstein and Andrew met on a minimum of 10 occasions. Epstein even attended Princess Eugenie's birthday party, which was held at Windsor Castle in 2006, 2 months after Epstein had been issued an arrest warrant for a sexual assault of a minor. These sexual assault allegations appeared to be just rumors, right? Until on the 30th of December 2014, when Virginia Giuffre filed a court case against Prince Andrew, alleging that Prince Andrew had participated in sexual activities with a minor. Virginia Giuffre alleged that Jeffrey paid her £15,000 to have sex with Prince Andrew. Flight logs showed that Prince Andrew and Virginia were in the places she alleged that the sex happened. Andrew and Virginia were also photographed together with his arm around his waist. And I think this was what smashed Andrew's case out of the water because Prince Andrew had previously claimed that he had never even met Virginia before in his life. So that when a photograph surfaced of him with Virginia, and to make matters worse, his arm was around her waist in the photograph, it completely blew any defense that Prince Andrew would have had to the allegation she was making out of the water. Virginia said she was pressured to have sex with Prince Andrew and would not have dared to object to Epstein's instructions for her to do so, as Epstein, through contacts, could have her killed or abducted. I wonder what kind of racket they were running. This is why people are saying that there is more to this case than is actually even being discussed. Anyway, the civil case being filed by Virginia against Prince Andrew was later settled for an undisclosed sum. The exact sum was never released to the public, but it was widely estimated to have been around the £12 million mark. In August 2019, court documents associated with a defamation case between Virginia and Maxwell revealed that a second girl, Joanna Joberg, gave evidence alleging that Prince Andrew had placed his hands on her boobs while in Epstein's mansion, posing for a photo with his spitting image puppet. Following these allegations, which had spread like wildfire, by the way, BBC's Newsnight arranged an interview between Prince Andrew and Emily Matlis, in which he roundly denied any sexual encounters with his accuser, Virginia, even going as far as saying that he did not regret his friendship with Epstein, saying that the people he met and the opportunities he was given to learn either by him or because of him were actually useful. Well, following that interview, you would think that since Prince Andrew had so roundly declared his innocence, that the next bit of news we were going to receive was either that it was all a prank or evidence had been provided to prove Andrew's innocence. But instead, what did we get? Prince Andrew or his representatives paid Virginia a £12 million settlement for something he claimed not to have done and for someone he had claimed that he had never met in his entire life. This means that people who did not believe his protestations had a point. Let me pose the question to you, my viewers. Would you settle a claim in allegations against you when you have never met the person accusing you of harming them? Going as far as paying them a £12 million settlement? Would you? Well, honey, despite Prince Andrew's protestations of innocence, we later began to see numerous photographs of him in compromising situations, which did not help his claims of innocence one bit. The question now is, how is it that the royal family are continuing to protect this man who has had a seemingly close relationship with a known SA abuser, which must be astronomically harmful to the royal family's reputation, all the while publicly humiliating and punishing his own son, Prince Harry, whose only crime was to marry a biracial woman and step back from his role as a working royal after becoming unhappy with the fact that he was not being supported against the abuse being thrown at him and his wife in the media, and for refusing to back down from a court case against the same media. In the face of this disparity in the treatment between Prince Harry and Prince Andrew, the royal family even went as far as continuing to fund the payment of Prince Andrew's security, even though he is no longer a working royal. Whereas they went ahead to strip Prince Harry of his own security even before he stopped working as a senior royal. Anyways, according to the recently released court documents, Virginia alleges that she was forced to have sexual relations with Prince Andrew 3 times. Once in Ghislaine Maxwell's apartment, once in New York, and the third time on Epstein's private island in a sex party with numerous underage girls. Virginia also alleged that Maxwell acted as a madam for Epstein, thereby assisting in international SA trafficking. In another section of the newly released court documents, Joanna Josberg confirmed that she witnessed Virginia when she was 17 in Jeffrey Epstein's New York mansion with Prince Andrew and Ghislaine Maxwell. Yo, this means that there was eyewitness testimony. Coming to think of it, do you guys think that this was another reason why Prince Andrew suddenly caved? Because if you recall, when the allegations first came out, Prince Andrew denied the allegations and swore up and down that he was going to defend his name, only to suddenly turn around and settle the case. Kind of like how Diddy settled his case with Cassie. A well known lawyer, Nima Rahmani, president of West Coast Trial Lawyers, has explained the situation, and he had this to say. There is a small possibility of Andrew being brought up on criminal charges of sexual abuse. If that happens, Andrew will find himself on his own. There is little the royal family will be able to do to help aside from paying his legal fees. Diplomatic immunity won't apply because sex with minors is outside the scope of his official duties as a royal. The shade. Anyway, we continue. And since the recently unsealed documents also associates Andrew with at least one other underage victim, there may also be other legal consequences looming. Any other victims Andrew allegedly abused may also be motivated to come forward and sue him, Romani warned. It is not clear whether Prince Andrew will actually face criminal charges, but a lot of people feel like there is a lot more to the story than is being discussed, myself included, and that the royal family continues to shield Prince Andrew because he knows where the bodies are buried, with one Twitter user reminding us that Princess Diana was only 16 years old when King Charles set his sights on her, and we all saw how that ended. Well, to be honest, this is a very desperate rabbit hole of its own to fall into because if King Charles has to abdicate because of his connection to SA abusers, then Prince William is next. And we all know what we think about that. Prince of Pagan is trending for a reason. But guys, what are your thoughts? Do you think the monarchy is going to survive this latest Prince Andrew scandal? Do you think they are going to succeed in taking away his home and banishing him to Frogmore Cottage as they were trying to do? Considering William's aggressive push for his turn on the throne, do you think this scandal is going to be the thing that will cause King Charles to abdicate? Let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!